So hi, I figured it was about time I stopped saying I was going to post Axolotl videos and started actually doing it. So sorry for the cheap setup, but I don't have any fancy lights or microphones or anything like that, so forget what you usually see on YouTube. This is bare basics. But I got some very interesting emails today, so I figured I would reply to each one of them in video form so that I could maybe patch some of the answers together and make it into something kind of helpful for a lot of people, I think, around this time of year. This is a time of year where I typically start receiving a lot of emails that go something along the lines of, help, my axolotl is not eating, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but temperatures are going up, maybe that's that. It could be. In many cases it is, but there's a lot of other common causes. Axolotls will really stop eating for a variety of reasons, basically as soon as there's a little bit of stress. So let's take a look at this. Let's see, which one was from Australia? No, I have someone from Arizona to start with. Okay, so this one goes. Hello, my Axie is about 10 months old. He's in a 75-gallon tank. I'm sure he appreciates that. With sand substrate and plants for him to climb around in and uses a hammock. That's also something they appreciate a lot. There are half a dozen small zebra danios and an aquatic frog in there too, and the frog is friends with the Axie. They hang out together and the frog will eat his scraps. You know what? If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've never heard of axolotls being kept with frogs, but as long as it's a species of frog that handles the same temperature range and enjoys the same parameters, I don't see why it wouldn't work out. As long as everyone is well fed, just keep an eye out. There's a specific, I'm sure if you've kept them together and you haven't had problems for a long time, you're probably used to their body language. There's a particular kind of move that they make when they start to think about biting each other, and that's the one thing really you'd want to look for when it comes to frogs and axolotls and other amphibians in general, really. They're going to do this thing where they kind of stomp towards the other one with their nose to the ground. Just coming in slowly and sniffing can be anything, but if they're coming in really determined and with their head down, that's kind of a threat. So just keep an eye out for that, but aside from that, that was just an aside anyway. That wasn't the bulk of it. That wasn't the main issue with this particular axolotl. I just knew that this would raise questions, so I figured I'd address that. Aside from that, the fish, a lot of people keep zebra danios with their axolotls with no problems. I've kept a bunch of different fish species with my axolotls with no issues for many years, and I have to tell you, sometime around, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, my fish suddenly decided to eat all my axolotl gills, and that was pretty dramatic. So if you start seeing any damage to the axolotl gills, separate them immediately, just because by the time you realize that this is going on, it can be, like, the damage can be quite pronounced. They can make a lot of damage pretty quickly is what I'm saying, but most of the time there's really no issues. And like I said, for me it was something like 10 plus years with no issues. So I'm not sure exactly what happened that suddenly changed things, but just keep in mind that if you're going to keep your axolotl in any sort of community, they're fragile. So if anything happens, they're going to be the ones getting injured. That's not a huge deal as long as you're prepared to deal with it. Okay, moving on. I feed him human cocktail shrimp, medium size, about when 1 or 2 every other day. That sounds okay to me. I also give him bloodworms. He has been a lusty eater till now, even nibbling at my fingers. You know what? I'm not gonna comment on the diet because I don't know enough about the nutrition aspect of feeding them shrimp, so I'm just gonna leave that aside for now. We live in Arizona and the temperature started going up. Our AC is out right now in his room, which is our office. The temperature in his tank got to 73 degrees today and has been hovering over 71, 72 all week. Okay, so whenever temps reach 71, 72 for a day or so, that's not necessarily something that is going to be dramatic, but for a whole week that you're going to start seeing effects. And 73 is definitely reaching that dangerous range where you have to intervene because the axolotl is going to stop eating. They're going to really show some serious signs of stress, and that's going to affect their immune system. They're more likely to get sick at that point. So he stopped eating completely yesterday, no surprise there, and only took about half shrimp 3 days ago. Yeah, that checks out, yeah. He also likes roast chicken breast, so I've tried that on him, but he's not interested. I've never heard of axolotls eating roast chicken, but I know that for a long time they were being fed raw beef heart, and it was considered the standard. Every university research center was keeping them on that raw beef diet. And it turned out to be a little too high in vitamin A for them, so they don't recommend that anymore. But I think the occasional meal of meat seems to be appropriate for them. So definitely curious about this diet. I'm going to have to look more into it, but so far I really don't think that's problematic. I'm going to put some bottles of ice in the tank to try and cool it down back to 68, but I was wondering if you have any other suggestions. Yes, actually I have a few. I really love this little guy. I hope he's going to be okay. I'm sure he will be as long as we bring temperatures down. Thanks for your help. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so I've been meaning to do a video on how to cool down your aquarium. So we're gonna do that. Let me pull out my mind map so that I don't get derailed too much because that's my to-do list. See, I get derailed very, very easily.